Hi, boys and girls. My name is Sharon Jeffess, and I want to take you through some really fun things about Santa Claus and how to create really unique and original pictures of Santa and different things having to do with the Christmas season. This is called Santa and a Starry Night. When we think of Christmas, our minds go to many things. We can think of beautiful Christmas trees or snowmen, the Grinch, good food and gifts. We can think of Santa Claus and all the fun of going to him for our wishes for the season. Or we can think of the true and beginning reason for the season, the birth of Jesus. In studying the history of Santa Claus, we find it can be traced to a story of a godly man, a monk named St. Nicholas, who gave away all of his wealth and traveled the countryside helping the poor and the sick. There's a picture of him there on the left. He looks very different from the Santa Claus of today, but he was a very good man, and he also was considered someone who was a protector of children. An Episcopal minister wrote "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," published in 1823, and Thomas Nast drew a picture of it, and this is what the poem "'Twas the Night Before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse." So you can read that poem very slowly and get an idea of exactly what Santa Claus looked like. And that's exactly what Thomas Nast did. And this is a picture that he came up with. A right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. All of these pictures were done by Thomas Nast, who was a cartoonist. When he read that poem, he got a great idea of what Santa might look like. Now, artists have had fun creating Santa Claus for many years. And look at these different Santas. You can look at these and think, what do I like best? And what are these Santas like? And here's a Santa that I have that's in a sleigh. You can create a Santa in a sleigh. Here's another Santa that's holding a canoe. There's all different kinds of Santas, and it's really fun to look at them and think about what we're going to do. Now, Richard Jeffers drew this picture of Santa Claus, and in the eye, there's a tear, and the tear has a cross in it because he really thought that if St. Nicholas was alive today, he might want more attention on the birth of Jesus than Santa Claus himself. And I'm going to show you how, step by step, to draw a Santa Claus. And once you know how to do this, you're going to be able to do it a lot of times, a lot of times. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to create a circle. And then I want you to come halfway down and I want you to make lines in your circle just like this. Can you make a circle like that for me? Just like this? Now, the next thing after you make your circle, you want to put two eyes in there. And I'm going to color my eyes black and leave a little bit of white because there's a little bit of light in the eye. And I'm going to draw a big circle for a nose, and I'm going to make a mouth. And there's what we have so far in our Santa Claus. And once we learn how to do this, it becomes very easy to do. So you just want to take a little time. You can stop this video if you want and pause it and then decide that you want it to go a little bit slower. I'm going to make big mustache now. Oh, it's so much fun on both sides. He's got a big mustache. And then he's got his lips right there. He's probably would be smiling, but there's his mustache. We'll give Santa a mustache. Your Santa will look different than my Santa, and that's really a good thing. I don't want your Santa to look exactly like mine because I want your Santa to be a little bit different. We've seen many different Santas, and it's really fun to do things that are different. Now I'm going to put a hat on Santa with a little white cotton ball. And I'm going to put his hair on him. And the last thing, I'm going to put the top of the hat on him. And then I'm going to make a beard. Here's his beard. Now, this is my Santa, and I'm going to show you a Santa that I did like this. And I did this Santa on a record. Look at this. You know the old records that you see? Well, you can go to your store and buy an old record for $1 or $2, and then you can put a Santa on it just like I did. You can draw it first, just like I did, and then you can paint it. And it's lots and lots and lots of fun. Now we're going to do another project in just a minute, but first I want to show you a very, very famous artist, Norman Rockwell, who did many wonderful pictures of Santa Claus. Now, if somebody came to you and said, I want to pay you for doing a picture on the cover of my magazine, I want you to do Santa Claus. And Norman Rockwell was a famous illustrator. So here we have Santa Claus looking all over the world because, of course, he gets in his sleigh and he goes all over the world because he's got his book of wishes. And that's a good picture. Or we have Santa with a computer or what, a TV screen. We have his elves and we have him again. He's typing things in. And then we have Santa with the toys making different things. If you think about it, how many details do you notice that are put in these pictures? Goodness gracious. So what I'd like you to do, make a picture of Santa. Try to put at least 3 different props in your picture. Now I can show you how to make some holly, okay? And it's just out of the letter C. I make C, but you have to put them upside down. See these C's right here? And then I take another C like this, and then I take another C, and another C, and another C, and another C, and I have a piece of holly. And I can do another one. All I do is I just take the letter C and I go 1, 2, 3, and I have now, I've done the letter C. I have 2 pieces of holly. If I put some round, put little berries and I color it, I can put holly in the picture of my Santa. Now, I really thought about maybe putting some holly in this picture when I did it, but then I decided against it. Now, we're going to look at a bell. A bell is the letter U. Just take the letter U upside down and then make it curl out a little and come and finish it out. And there you have a bell. If you put a bow on your bell, you can put circle and 2 triangles like this. Or you can put holly on your bell. Or like in this picture, you can make a row of bells. You can have Santa carrying a tree. Here's a Santa carrying a tree. You can have him doing many different things, but when you put things in a picture, that's called a prop. Now, an applehead doll is, now we're going to talk about when you, drawing and painting is art that you look at, but sculpture is art that you walk around. And you can take an apple head and you can carve it eyes, nose, and mouth and let it dry. And this is your Santa face. And then you can create a whole Santa out of that apple head. And this is an example. You can put things around it and a beard and a hat. This Santa is really special. My husband made this Santa, and it's made out of sawdust clay. And it's interesting, my son was a homeschooler, and where we lived, we had a big, like a lumber mill or woodworking place, and oh, they had just tons of sawdust. And so he invented what he thought was sawdust clay, and it was really neat, and it did turn out to be clay, and he had his own business for a while. But this is a very, very wonderful folk art. And if you mix together sawdust and wallpaper and flour and blend it, and then you can sculpt with it and let it dry for 3 days or put it in an oven. And you can have your own head of Santa, the eyes, the nose, and the mouth, and the hat. And this Santa has the cross. It's Santa with a shadow in the shadow of the cross. And that's always really fun to do. Now, one more Santa that we didn't do yet, I don't have a picture of, but I'm going to get it in there, is a Nutcracker Santa. And here we have a Nutcracker Santa, and we even have a drum. Nutcrackers, they're very famous, just like gingerbread houses and cuckoo clocks. A nutcracker was supposed to be a guardian to your home. And so there we have another nutcracker. That's a Santa Claus. So we can draw a nutcracker together very easily. And then you can make a very, very, very original. Now I'm doing mine in marker, but you want to do yours in pencil, boys and girls, because if you do it in pencil, then you can erase it. You start out with a circle, a rectangle, and a short rectangle. And this is how we start our nutcracker. When you get that done, you do two more rectangles and circles for the hands, because you notice on these nutcrackers that I showed you, the hands are a circle. They're not actually really hands, they're just circles. You can see this up close very well. Now, then I'm going to put two legs, and on the nutcracker, which is vertical lines, these are the legs, I'm going to put boots. Santa usually wears black boots. And a lot of times he has fur. And remember when you drew the face of your Santa, you did a circle nose and eyes. You did the mustache. You did the beard. And again, you can do yours much better than mine because you're doing yours not in marker, but with pencil. Here's my nutcracker so far. I can make him wear anything I want. I can turn him into a soldier. I can have lots of fun with my nutcracker. I'm going to give him a Santa hat. I'm going to make him a Santa nutcracker. Nutcrackers are really, really fun to make at Christmas time. Now we're going to just look at one or two more things, and this is the Nativity. And really, when just like Santa, the shadow of the cross is on Santa because we want to remember the cross. We have the Star of Bethlehem, and Jesus was born on a starry night. The Star of Bethlehem was there, and the Magi came to worship the three wise men, and there was a beautiful light in the sky. Now, there's a really fun picture you can look at and make a starry night. And this is a picture by Vincent van Gogh. You might have seen it several times. This is a picture of a starry night. Now, I recommend you do this picture in either paint or oil pastels, because look at all the movement that you see in this picture. Van Gogh was a post-impressionist, and he put lots of movement in all of his pictures. So what you want to do is you can make movement, you can make it different colors, and you can see this picture by Van Gogh on the right. You also see stars in the sky. Jesus was born on a starry night. So one of my students said, I'm going to put a nativity scene right there in that picture, and I'm going to say Jesus was born on a starry night. So these are some really fun projects that you can do at Christmas time. And I'm going to have another set of them as well because I love doing things at Christmas. It's so much fun. So I will see you again. And thank you so much for coming.